ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dick Coffin 666. How are you? I'm very well today, and if you can't see below, I've got my England football top on. That's proper football, not American football. That's just rugby for homosexuals who don't want padding. Today something wonderful happened, and it's very rare that I get to do this because, as I've said before in other videos, I watch a lot more American politics and a lot more American media and news, simply due to the fact that America does it in a much more entertaining and interesting way. You can follow it, and it's ridiculous. It's like watching wrestling, and British politics is like watching the Olympics. You know, yes, R1 is much more professional, it's real. You know, it's actually doing what you're supposed to do. But America's is much more interesting to watch. You know, there's an election coming up here. You have to really look hard to sort of, to notice it, because we go along, and the politicians, they don't, no one shouts, kill him, he's a Muslim, or, fucking string. No one walks around with pictures of the only thing that's been happening in the election campaign, because it hasn't been going long, because for some reason, in America, you start your election campaign in 2.5 years before the election's supposed to start. Presumably because you've got a lot more travelling around to do, but in this one, they literally start about a week ago, like, should we go? And very rarely do I get to sort of experience it. Last night someone did throw an egg at David Cameron, and there's probably a lot of people here watching it in America going, who the fuck's David Cameron? Exactly, right? That's the point, and he could be the next Prime Minister. And I'm sure you are aware, because I've spoken about them before, and I love bending them over and giving them a good stiff, hard fucking todger right in the anus whenever I can. There is a political party in the UK, in Britain, called the BNP, which stands for British Nationalist Party. They're basically just a sort of, remedial class, under 5, lobotomised monkey version of the Nazis, They're shite, right? People always get worried about them, like, people always go, oh no, the BNP, they've got 1 million members. Yeah, so there's 2.5 million Muslims, so I think we've got to, don't have to panic too much. The Westboro Baptist Church have got, they're on TV all the fucking time. They've still only got 80 fucking members. The BNP, led by a one-eyed Welshman. Last week, the BNP, the British National Party PR man, the guy in charge of their PR, quit after punching Nick Griffin, the guy who is the leader of the party, in the face. Now, I don't know much about fucking public relations and advertising and marketing, but I do know this: if the man who is supposed to make you look good, which, if you're Nick Griffin, is something that is only achieved via God or a large bag, if you get punched in the face by the man paid to make you look good, and then he quits, you've got a bit of an uphill struggle. You might as well have a political party based on the concept that you are going to kick all the sand out of the Sahara Desert. Right? But breaking news on the streets, on the net, it's spreading, man. Everyone, the word on the streets. Last night, the BNP had their party electoral broadcast, which is a bit like a party political broadcast. I love these things. They're like 5 minutes. Each party gets like 5 minutes, and it's great because it's basically like a game show. It's like, who can tell the most lies in 5 minutes? And of course it was, but there was one part into it where Nick Griffin, they used a logo for the BNP for a product called Marmite. Now, Marmite is yeast extract. It's called Vegemite in Australia. That's what it is, and it's very famous because Vegemite is disgusting, and no one would fucking need 2 products, And if you can win a year's supply in a competition, it's 1 fucking jar. Do you know what I mean? But Marmite were featured, and the idea was the BNP was saying, hey, look, you love us or you hate us. That was Marmite's slogan. You love or you hate Marmite. You love or you hate the BNP. Which is a really bad, because Marmite is successful, do you know what I mean? Marmite doesn't base their campaign on the idea that only ethnically indigenous people can actually fucking eat Marmite. Apparently what's happened is Marmite, the company, got a bit pissed off because they didn't want, presumably they didn't want their rather salty and bizarrely popular spread being associated with a bunch of Nazi fucktards like the BNP, and they are now going to sue the BNP. Marmite, my mate, your mate, Marmite are going to sue the Marmite. The pen is more mightier than the sword, and the reason I love it is it's a beautiful example of what I call naturally informing. If living organisms are products of evolution by natural selection, then these are jokes by a process of natural writing. They don't need to be put together, because the BNP are going to get sued by a company because they stole their catchphrase and logo. And the BNP, like most, tabloid journalist level sensationalist right-wing propaganda spreading anti-foreign anybody who's within 5 feet of you fucktard rhetoric spouting knowheads, one of the things they say is, these people, they come